Every uptime story has that moment when something breaks and everyone looks at you. Statseeker helps you stay ahead of that moment with 60-second polling, automatic discovery, and deep historical visibility across your entire network. So when issues hit, you already have the answers. Start your free trial at statseeker.com/uptime stories.
Welcome to Life in Uptime, the show where we talk to ourselves about questions and answers. This week, we don't have a guest, so we're abandoning our normal format, and we're just going to talk to you guys and answer your questions. And as always, I'm joined by Alexis. So, Alexis, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm actually having a fantastic day, and I've been really looking forward to this. We get questions all the time in our DMs and our comments, and like Kevin said, we really wanted to dedicate this episode to answering as many as we can. So thank you to those who submitted. And we are going very off script, so I hope you enjoy it.
Unfiltered. This is Life in Uptime.
Oh my God. Kevin, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Pull up the sheet.
We got the sheet. We took all of our, Alexis and I both did a prompt on Instagram stories, and we've combined those questions, and we kind of picked out some of that because there's a lot of repeats, to be honest. A lot of general questions about the CCNA and what certifications and best paths and all that kind of stuff. So we tried to consolidate a little bit. So if you don't hear your question, but you did have something related to those, we still appreciate it. Thank you for your question, but we can't list over repetitive like too many times. So, all right, I'll start. So the first question I see here is from Ivan Saloom, and I hope I pronounced that right. What do you tell people saying networking jobs aren't available like before? Do you want me to start that one, or do you want to hit that, Alexis?
I've got a hot take on this one.
All right, if you got a hot take, go for it.
I think that networking jobs, I feel like a lot of people right now are kind of scared with AI. That's another question we get all the time is AI going to replace network engineering? Is this still something I should study? And AI isn't going to replace networking. It's just going to make it different. And I think that there are plenty of jobs that involve network engineering concepts. But what I'm personally hearing and seeing is that network engineers are being asked to take on much more infrastructure. So you're no longer just a network engineer. Maybe you're working a little bit with the cloud. Maybe you're doing a little bit of cybersecurity. It's more integrated systems, right? And you, because the network touches everything, kind of become the tie in between all of these systems. And I think with AI, the scope creep of the job of a network engineer is just going to continue to creep, which is kind of cool because it means that you get to dabble in a lot of other technologies. But I think that it's not that there's not as many network engineering jobs. I think that there's even more. They're just kind of expanded into other functions. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the roles of a route switch network engineer is less of those jobs because there are very few like just straight route switch network engineers anymore. Now you have to have a laundry list of abilities and knowledge to be effective in the modern enterprise network. And I think we get AI questions a lot, and I think we're not really sure where AI is going right now. I think that AI, there's too many questions around it still of what AI looks like and the skills that you'll need in a modern AI workforce to really use it effectively. There's that I think we've all heard it before, that AI is not going to replace your job. It's the person who knows how to utilize AI is going to replace your job.
Yep.
And while I agree with that, it's very, very generic. Like, we don't know what that looks like yet. We don't know you need to have XYZ skill in AI to be competitive or to be, in the workforce now. So that person that's replacing, quote unquote, replacing you that has AI knowledge, there's no concrete information about what those skills are. So while I agree with that saying, it's still a lot of unknown stuff. So What I would tell people saying that networking jobs aren't available is that they are available. They're just harder to get. That the entry level jobs might be less. That it's the senior level jobs. It's the people who need a laundry list of knowledge and abilities to get those jobs are rarer, but there's still a lot of jobs around. It's not going anywhere. There aren't less networking positions, just more duties.
They're different. They're different.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you went really serious with the first question. I'm gonna bring us back.
I will. I went deep.
This one's from Dave405. He wants to know, what's the vibe?
You went the
Kevin, what's
complete
the vibe?
opposite. That was like,
I know. I thought we were going to do a fun one to kick off, and you just dove right in.
it was the first one on the list, and that's how I work. I get that
You're
engineer
such an
brain. Like
engineer.
step one, boom, get it. What's the vibe? So I'm old. I don't even know what that question really means. What the vibe? Like, the vibe is I don't. What I try to make the vibe, I can go with that. I try to make the vibe where I'm having fun and making the best out of any situation. That's my vibe, I guess. That's what I try to do to anything. But what does that mean? What does the vibe mean, Alexis?
Like, how are you feeling? Like, how are you doing today?
Like a checkup, like a
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I'm having a great day. This was my 5th day skiing. I'm just learning. I spent a lot of time falling down a mountain. I feel like my face is really wet, red, and
Did you
windburned.
actually fall down a mountain, or is that you being
Yes.
like
No,
exaggerating?
it's not
No, you
I'm
actually
not
fell.
being dramatic at all. I
Please
don't
tell
know
me
if
someone got it on recording.
Oh, 100%. This
Okay.
is a picture of like, I know people, they're like,
No
"It's
one can
blue."
see.
No, I know, I'm pulling it up. They're like, "It's blue, it's easy." I don't know if you can tell how steep it is. It is
No.
anyways, that's Kevin's in Florida
So the
complaining about
vibe
how
is you
cold
fell
it
off a
is.
mountain and you're having fun skiing and being with your people.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
That's awesome.
All right, pick a question.
Um, all right. So segueing, since we're talking about you skiing down a mountain on a work day in the middle of the work day, I think that we had a couple questions about you traveling and how you stay. I think you're stay eating on a good diet while you're traveling. Mr. Stephen Macaroni, how do you keep a good diet traveling so much?
So, that's a really fun question. It depends on where I am and how strict I'm being. So, technically, what I try to do is no sugar, no alcohol, no dairy, no gluten. Um,
No fun?
basically, yeah, basically no fun, right? If it isn't whole foods, I really try to avoid it. Um, I try to be kind of mindful of like portion sizes and, eating only when I'm hungry. Sometimes I do travel with like a portable food scale. Sometimes I'm tracking
My
macros,
gosh.
sometimes I'm not. Um, you really, really, really have to force yourself into time zone and like making sure you're getting up and working out. This week in Switzerland is actually really weird for me because there's no gym in the town that I'm in. So I'm
Oh,
trusting that I'm just getting
what
my
would you
workout
ever
on.
do? Oh my
I know,
gosh.
it's been hard, it's been hard. It's gonna be, like, the longest period of time I've gone without, like, actually lifting. Um, but I'm
Now, do
trusting
you
that the
do like
mountain.
calisthenics and stuff? Like, 'cause you could do like push-ups and sit-ups and like,
Yeah, I'll
calisthenic
travel.
stuff.
I travel Manduka has a travel yoga mat that's I think it's, like, 2 millimeters, and it's only 4 pounds, and so I'll travel with that and then, like, 2-pound Pilates hand weights. And generally, like, if you just follow along with a YouTube video, you can get, like, a decent workout in, and they're pretty nice because they're 30 to 40 minutes. You can do them with, like, minimal space in a hotel room. The
Uh-huh.
diet is really, really the hardest part. I think my favorite, if specifically for conferences or, like, work travel, if I'm assuming whoever's asking this is, like, doing some work travel, I'll actually order meal preps from local meal delivery services to the hotel that I'm going to. And if the hotel doesn't have a fridge in the room, you can tell them that you need a medical fridge because you're on a special diet, which is true. But a lot of foods upset my stomach,
Mhm.
and I can't function at work if I'm not performing, right? And so I need the food. And then you'll have a mini fridge with like meal preps. Sometimes you have to eat them cold if there's no microwave, but like it's better than, eating greasy French fries and having an upset stomach and feeling like all the time. So
Now, can I pull the curtain back here a little bit? Because you
sure.
say all that,
I know.
but I want to give our
There's in
audience an
theory and
accurate
in practice.
representation because we just got back from Amsterdam a couple weeks ago, and
I
we were
live
at the
in
celebration,
Amsterdam.
like the celebration story. And every single time we go to a celebration, Alexis's first thing out of her mouth is, "I want ice cream. Where's the ice cream?" So she had ice cream, and then she had churros. Like she
Churros.
had all this junk
And
food. So
then you know what you're leaving out? And then I got food poisoning, and immediately after
yes,
Cisco Live Amsterdam, I spent, oh my god, 10 hours in my hotel room just, like, sick as a dog. I slept for 48 hours straight. The only reason I survived is because I called one of my coworkers, and he brought me, like, activated charcoal and medicine from a drugstore. I honestly thought I might have had to go to the hospital. It was, like, top 2 times I have ever been sick in my whole life. So
jeez.
it kind of backfired, but I have a nasty, nasty sweet tooth. And the hardest thing for me traveling is going to like a grocery store in a new country and they have all the different candies. I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't try all of them. And so I kind of struggle with like all or nothing. Like I'll either eat nothing or I'll buy like 6 packs and give it down. It's a work in progress. I'm just giving
Yeah.
the people
Like
ideas.
literally, I to give people an idea of like how it was on the conference floor with you. Like we're trying to like videos. So we're hanging out together, making videos and stuff, and like we're scourging the place, trying to find stuff to eat. You end up just eating chocolate. Like someone gave us this very very nice person
Oh, they were
was
wonderful.
gave us yeah, we had so many people that came up to us and they were awesome. But they gave us chocolates and like Dutch candies, and that ended up being Alexis's lunch and
Well,
dinner most
be
nights.
well, be well, because what happens is, like, you get if at these big tech conferences, like, you get so busy and you're in and out of sessions and you're walking and there's a lot of movement and people are stopping
Mhm.
you and you're talking and, like, it's very chaotic, and then you look and it's, like, 2 o'clock and lunch is over, and you're like and then there's nothing to eat for miles. Whether you're in Vegas, I don't care what conference I'm at, there's no good food. Like, if it's AWS reInvent, if it's Cisco Live in Las Vegas, like, you might get, like, a Starbucks and, you get, like, the most mid food ever from a Starbucks in Vegas when the line is 50 people long, or it's, like, overly priced and greasy, and it's just, like, not good food, which is,
Good.
again, why I prefer to have the meal preps. I did not adequately prep for Amsterdam, which is why I was eating chocolate and stroop waffles on the conference room floor because there
Okay.
was nothing else. Leave
Okay,
me
you get a
alone.
pass, you get a pass.
We're
I just
we're
wanna
gonna
be I wanna make sure that we're honest in this Q&A, that we're not
Yeah,
like,
I
I only
know.
eat prepared food and I'm like the like,
I'm
'cause I will call you out. I want you to call me out too in this Q&A. If I start
okay.
BSing, call me out, okay?
I'm not BSing. I do order meal preps most of the
I
time.
I was not accusing you. I
Okay.
was just saying, I want us to be honest. Um, okay, so
Um,
I'll do
I
can we do a hard one next one? Like a
yes, I'm gonna pick an
back
actual
back to the
technical
meat.
question.
The meat.
Um,
Give me the
okay.
meat.
I like this one. From Tips Shush. Tips Shush.
Tip
Tipsus.
shush.
Tip
Tip shush.
Shush.
Just the
What
tip shush.
key what key personality traits are most valued as a pre-sales network engineer? I think this is a great question, and I'm gonna answer it from my point of view, and then Kevin, because you're on the other side, you've been a
From the customer point
customer
of view, yeah.
working with an SE. I want you to
I have a
talk about
feeling
what your favorite are.
we kinda talked about this before, and I have a feeling we're gonna be aligned on what we say, but go for it.
Okay. I think the most important trait to have if you're going into pre-sales, like I was a solutions engineer at Cisco, and you can be a pre-sales engineer at almost any vendor. They all have them. Number one is being a teacher. Like you like teaching. You genuinely enjoy like teaching technology to others and wanting to help people. At the end of the day, if you're working as an SE for these vendors, a lot of times you have other architects or other engineers that you can lean on who may have more experience than you or may be more technical than you. And you are acting as the voice of the customer to help advocate for them in your organization. And a lot of times, what happens is you'll get asked questions and you don't know the answer, right? Maybe it's like over your head. Maybe it's a new feature that you just haven't been up to speed on yet. Like there's a million things going on in the industry. You can't always know everything all at once. So, just being able to be honest and say, hey, great question. I don't know. I'm going to go find out for you. Going, finding the answer, learning the answer, and then teaching it back to your customer. And if you can do those things, I think that's what makes a great SE, personally.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Okay, Kevin, what's your
I would,
answer?
yeah, from the customer point of view, I would say that number one, being honest about everything. Like, don't BS me. If I can tell you're BSing, or I get even the hint, the whiff that you're
Mm-hmm.
BSing, you lose all credibility. And once you lose credibility, we're done. Like it takes a lot to come back. You make one mistake, and it takes a while to earn that trust back. Number two, I would say I don't want to be sold to. Like, I don't want the hard sell,
Yep.
like the kind of used car salesman like thing. You
It's
shouldn't be
teaching.
forcing solutions.
It's
Yeah.
educating, not selling.
But
Your
even
job,
yeah,
your AM's job is to sell. Your job is to educate.
yeah, but it's not even, don't educate. I, I don't know. The solution that you're telling me about or educating me has to tie back into our environment and make sense for our environment. Don't try to take a round peg and put it in a square hole and tell me that it's going to work, or it'll fit. Like, because I will listen to you. We'll do a test, and if it doesn't work, you're losing credibility there too. Or like, okay,
Yep.
this person, they were just trying to sell this solution or implement this solution, and they didn't really know our environment or how it's going to integrate and how it's going to work.
Well, and something I always said to my customers when I worked at Cisco was that, I can teach you this. You are the one. Ultimately, I'm not in your environment every day, right? You can tell me all of the things, and I can help educate you on what I think is going to work best. But ultimately, you need to be the owner of the decision with the technology that you're moving forward with, because you are the one that is going to have to implement it and use it every single day. And I have my
Yeah.
opinions on what I think you should use based on my experience, but ultimately, you are the one running your network. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you make a different decision. Unless we're like 6 months into the sales process and, you jerk us
You
around a
back out.
whole
Yeah.
bunch, and I've bent over backwards for you multiple times trying to help you out. Then it might hurt my feelings a little bit. But
Mhm. Yeah, same. So pretty aligned.
yeah, same.
Okay. I have to pick the next one.
Yes, you do.
Okay. What's the smallest thing that can absolutely ruin your day? This is from Natalie Doity X. Doity? Doity. Smallest thing that can absolutely ruin your day.
Um, man, I really don't like washing my hair. Like, if you're a girl, Natalie's a girl. Natalie's the girl. So she understands. Men are not going to understand. But I wash my hair maybe, I don't know, once every 4 to 5 days, and right now it's really long, and, like, I'm in another country, and finding a blow dryer that works with the voltage and the outlets that I have available has been a struggle, and, it's just kind of like I have to do that today, and it takes a really long time, and I can't get anything else done, which is also why I'm wearing a hat, because I had a helmet on all day, and I we're not dealing with that. Um, that
Mhm.
wasn't a very good answer, but,
No,
um,
it's an unfiltered, accurate answer. That's what we're looking for here.
it's because I have to wash my hair tomorrow, and it's on my mind. How about you, Kevin? I gave you some time to think.
Um, yeah, I'll go. So there's actually two that I'm dealing with right now. One's work related, one's personal, and the personal one's kind of gross. So I'm not going to talk about it. Because it's not.
You
That
know
was a
what?
big. That sounded like I was weird.
Yeah, now you have to kind of
I'm
explain it.
okay.
I'm
I'm getting
assuming it's
over a cold right now.
oh, okay.
I'm like sick, and I have a mustache, and the nasal like stuff with a mustache is gross. This thing is terrible. It makes me want to shave my mustache off. I've never, in the last like 2 years of having a mustache, this is the first time I'm like, I want to get this thing off me so I can actually like fully blow my nose for once and
I
not
don't
feel
know that
gross.
I remember you without a mustache.
It's been a while. It's been 2
Kevin, if you
years.
shave your mustache, I think the internet would go crazy. No, I don't know who you are. It's like when I took my glasses off and everyone was like, "Who's
Yeah,
that?"
exactly. It had to rebrand completely.
I did.
Okay, but I'll do a work related one, and that is I'm very I plan my days out very meticulously, and I hate drive-bys or if I'm working in the office, people talking to me. I'm sorry. Coworkers, I love you. But like just I'm not a social person where like I want to talk about your kids for 30 minutes or like
If you
I
didn't
have
put a
a
meeting on
schedule.
Kevin's calender,
Yeah.
don't
Like
go in his
if you
cubicle.
exactly. If you want to shoot the stuff or talk and socialize, just send me an invite. Send me a 30-minute invite or like a catch-up meeting. That's
Is
fine with
this
me. But like,
is this why you decline my FaceTimes?
yes, all the time. I'm busy. If I'm doing something, I can't I have ADHD. I have like a schedule that I'm following. So I have to stay on task or else I will be completely derailed and it will derail my entire day if I go down this rabbit hole of talking to people or, just unpredictable meetings. Like I can't do it. So
Can I give a work-related one?
yeah, of course.
Hate
It's our podcast. We can do whatever
I
we want.
I hate Jira. Anytime I have to open up Jira for anything, I'm like, "Why?" I purposely avoid it. I avoid it, and then it all piles up, and I have to spend, like, 45 minutes
Oh,
straightening out
you s-
tickets and tagging it.
you just make
I
it
hate it.
worse. Yeah.
I
By
hate it.
delaying it, you're piling all into one and now you're like stuck doing this for a while. Ugh, no,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Okay.
procrastination.
Question. I'm gonna do a CCNA question from
Oh,
Martin Monsek. Is it still worth doing the CCNP or CCNA certification exam after you did all of the courses?
ooh,
I'm assuming what he's saying is like he did the training and he has the knowledge, but he hasn't paid to take the certification.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Um, so normally I would say the certification is not worth as much as the knowledge for a lot of certifications. The CCNA, CCNP are not those certifications. I feel like they carry the weight of it's worth actually getting the certifications. Now, like something like a Linux Plus or some of the entry level like Google, Microsoft certifications, those I would say you don't have to do A plus, for example. Like if you're completely new to computers and technology, study the A plus exam. Don't actually take it though. You don't need it. No one's looking for an A plus on their resume. But CCNA, CCNP, any of the Cisco heavy certs, those are worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I
What
think
about
that's
you?
a
What do you?
big I mean, the CCNA was how I transitioned into IT. Like,
Mhm.
I was an aerospace engineer. My four-year degree is in aerospace engineering. I pivoted. I got hired by Cisco. I took my CCNA and CCNP, and that was my, like, "I can work here now. I deserve to
Mhm.
be at this table." And I remember being was I 24? I think I was 24 when I went to my first customer lunch. It was very early when I started supporting customers, and I remember sitting at a table full of guys that were, like, old enough to be my dad, and they were like, "Oh, you're our new SC, whatever," and I was like, "Yeah, I have my CCNP," and they all went, "Oh my god, okay. Wow, sweetie, that's great."
Oh,
And
sweetie.
I yep. I was like, "Oh, okay, this did mean something." So I'm with Kevin. I do think it's worth it to get the piece of paper. Have the knowledge to
Mhm.
back up the piece of paper, but you should get a piece of paper.
It also depends on where you are in your career. If you're looking, basically, certifications are great if you want to advance your career, either getting a new job or a promotion. But if you're in a workplace that you've been there for 30 years, you're already a network engineer, then
Yep.
the actual certifications probably won't help you if you're planning on staying there and retiring there forever. It's your work production and what you know is what's going to keep you there. So, I mean, we don't know the backstory of this person's question, but if you're entry level or starting your career or wanting to transition careers, definitely get the piece of paper.
Cool. Your turn.
Oh, okay. It's an interesting one. Is online university a good idea? Will it look as good on a resume? That's from Buff, Caleb's Huffett?
Caleb
Caleb
Shuffett.
Shuffett? Keep Shuffit. I love these last names. They're all hard to pronounce. We couldn't get a John Smith to send us a freaking question, could we?
I also want to point out that Kevin is still going right down the list. Like, he's not skipping around
Yes,
at all. I want you to know
this
that
is how I am.
he is seeing the first question in front of him and just reading that one.
I am organized. This is how I live my life, Alexis.
I have a hard time answering this one because I'm not a recruiter. I don't know. I went to college in person. I don't know if it's kind of like stack ranked or if there's any sort of like filtering on the back end of resume platforms or like the job filtering process. My knee-jerk reaction would be, how good of a student are you? Like, can you hold yourself accountable to going to classes online and sitting and paying attention to hours and hours of lectures online where you're working by yourself and you're not there in person? And can you hold yourself accountable to doing the work? The other thing is, I think going to school in person, like, part of it is the friends that you make and the networking you get to do and the experience you get to have. It's not all just, oh, I can put this paper on my resume and I went to, MIT and it looks good. Part of it is the relationships that you build while you're in school, whether it's the professors that can introduce you to other people or the career fairs that you get to attend in person. Now, online university might have some of that, but I think it's going to be much more difficult the same way it's difficult to, like, I don't know, make friends and develop community online.
Okay, I see that. Especially for like the I think the biggest thing there was being able to what's it called? Socialize
Focus.
and like no, not even focus. The you just mentioned it. Now this is why this is why I have to keep
Build
on
community.
track. Community and like what's it called? The thing where you connect with people.
Connection? Making friends? What's
The networking. The thing that we do.
networking? Oh my
With the
god.
people networking, not the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I have a different take than you, and so I've been a hiring manager, and this is going to largely depend on the hiring manager. But my personal take is I don't care at all. I don't care if you got your degree from a community college. I don't care if you went to Harvard. I don't care if you went to WGU. It does not matter as long as you typically HR wants the college degree. They
Mhm.
want to have the check mark that you did you did the hoops and all that kind of crap for it. But I don't personally give a crap if you have a college degree or not, really. Um, to me, what I care about is, do you have a passion for technology? Do you have a basic understanding of networking? Are you someone who's going to do the extra mile and do research and figure questions out on your own? Or are you going to ask everyone for questions and be stuck spinning your wheels? That kind of stuff. And you can get that from the interview. I don't want to see your transcripts. I don't want to know that you got all A's and B's and have a 3.7 GPA or whatever. I don't care about any of that, because who you are in college might not necessarily be who you are at the workplace.
Mhm.
So it's a personal thing, but I don't know.
I think
It's gonna vary depending on the hiring manager.
I think speaking of building community, Tink Fu asked, "How did y'all become homies?" And I love this question.
The power of TikTok.
Kevin, do you wanna tell the story? I honestly don't even
Yeah, I
really
can tell.
remember it, so I wanna hear your take.
I mean, I'd be interested to, this is my take. I'd be interested to hear if like I'm remembering it the way you remember it or whatever. But
Okay, let's go.
so I would say it's been 2.5 years now, I wanna say, ish.
I think we're
Um,
3, honestly. I think, like, we keep
3.
saying 2.5, and it's been 2.5 years for,
Time
like, 3
time
years.
keeps going. We keep saying 2.5. 'Cause I don't wanna admit
Something
how
like
old I
that.
am, how long we've been doing this. Okay, it's about 2.5, 3 years ago. Alexis and I were both making videos on TikTok. We were both making memes, really, like crappy memes that were just, I don't know, that zero educational value, really, just making fun of ourselves, making, like, things about networking. And, um, I followed her, she followed me, and I think I don't know who messaged each other first, but
I'm
I was
not
like, "Oh,
scrolling
you're a
that far back
networking."
out.
Yeah, no, but, like, it was basically like, "Oh, you make networking stuff too. There's only, like, 3 of us on this entire platform, so we should be friends." And then
Yeah,
we started sending
basically.
each other, like, ideas for memes and, helping each other spot check, like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this meme. What do you think of this? Is this actually funny or am I just being weird?" Kinda stuff. And then she was an SC, so she would send me stuff like, "Hey, does this make sense to you as a network engineer?" And we just kind of use each other's resources to help us grow on TikTok. And it transitioned from helping each other with memes to like business ideas of like, how do we grow our platforms? How do we reach people who are interested in networking, who have never talked about networking or never thought about
Well,
networking? And like, we
because
just brainstorm together.
we both have, I mean, even though Kevin and I had very different roles, being like a network engineer and a solutions engineer, I mean, they're similar roles, but they are different. The ultimate end goal of the platform is the same, which is to inspire people to go into IT and educate people about technology, right? And we're both doing it our it's like a similar but different way, right? And kind of like Kevin said, I would have ideas that wouldn't necessarily perform well on my platform, but I think would do very well on Kevin's just because of it's a slightly different sense of humor and slightly different delivery. And again, the end goal is the same, which is to help people get into the industry, have fun, have a good laugh, right? And it's very nice having someone else in your corner. And I think it goes for anything, right? Like whether you're studying for a certification or breaking into a new industry, it helps to have a buddy that you can shoot ideas off back and forth and kind of motivate you. Like I will say, Kevin's outpaced me on followers. It's fine. I'm
It,
okay with it.
different markets.
Right.
Like, and your LinkedIn is killing me. I can't compete with you on LinkedIn at all. It's a different market completely.
I like LinkedIn. It was my favorite child for a while.
You
Uh,
weirdo.
but yeah, it's nice to have someone else that like understands and has the same goal and that you're able to like co-work with, especially in
Mhm.
content creation, and especially in content creation about IT. Because like Kevin said, there's not really that many of us out there.
Though it's getting bigger. When we first started this, it was me, you, and Lexi, and
David
She
Bumble and
Network,
Network
I
Shop.
believe. Yeah, they weren't even on social media. They were on YouTube still. They weren't on TikTok much or Instagram much at all back then.
Mm.
They've since then grown, and now they're seeing how short form is taking off. But yeah, now there's a million people out there. A lot of early career people, which I love to see that they're creating content and showing
Every
their
time
journey.
I try every time I see someone that's making networking content, I follow them back and DM them and I'm like, keep it up, keep
Yeah,
going.
exactly.
Because I
Most
remember
of my
like
followers. Oh, go ahead. I cut you
I
off.
was gonna
I
say
keep
I just
cutting you off. I'm sorry.
oh, it's okay. I remember how
Anyway,
exciting it
I'm
was
just
for
kidding.
me.
Sorry, I
I
couldn't resist.
I remember how exciting it was when I was, like, a new creator and when someone who had, like, more followers than me or was more experienced than me followed me back and was like, "Ah, keep going." I was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah." And so I've been trying to do that for new people too.
I do the same thing, and I really only follow other creators on my thing on my platforms. It's like a I will follow basically anyone. If you make constant content on your platform, I will follow you. For both support and to steal ideas. I mean, to I'm not gonna steal ideas from you. I'm,
You're an ass, man. I can't I can't believe you said
that's
that
my
live.
that's my
Moving on,
personality. I can't help it. They know
moving
I'm
on.
joking.
There's
I'm
questions
friends.
there's questions I wanna answer on the list that are not in order, and so I'm just gonna start asking them because I
Ugh.
know if I leave it to Kevin, he's gonna skip them.
Yes, I will.
How was Cisco Live EMEA compared to Cisco Live US? I think this is a
Um,
really interesting question because also I've gotten asked before, like, if I could only choose one Cisco Live, which one would I pick? Because there's
yeah,
people that
that's
can't
hard.
go like, you have to pick one.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't
I mean,
not everyone can go to all of
eh,
them.
I'm jealous of the people that can just pick which one they go to. Like
Uh-huh.
I can't. My job won't pay for me to go to Europe or to Australia. Like I'm stuck at the US one. So the fact that like companies will pay their people to go to a different country blows my mind. I can't even imagine that. So if you have that option, that's amazing. Um, but the actual question, I think Cisco Live US is more hectic I feel like it's more like just everyone's rushing, everyone's doing stuff. There's so much to do where EMEA was more chill. Like everyone was kind of slower. I don't know. It was nice. It was more relaxed, which
Yeah.
I, it
Cisco Live US, I compare to, like, prepping for the Super Bowl. Like, I know I'm going to Cisco Live in Vegas. I'm, like, drinking electrolytes the week before. I'm
oh
walking
boy.
extra. I'm, like, upping my step count to 15,000 a day to try to, like, prepare to be on my feet. I'm ordering the meal preps. Like, I'm, like, prepping for that because I know it's
Mhm.
grueling and it beats the hell out of your body. Cisco Live EMEA and Cisco Live Australia, I got 8 hours of sleep every night. I got a workout in the morning. I, like, casually walked around. I didn't feel it was just so much more relaxed, and I
Mhm.
felt like because of that, I was able to have much more in-depth conversations, either with people that were coming over to talk to me or just people in general because everyone's not, like, on edge
Yeah.
like they are in Vegas. Maybe it's just Vegas, but I don't know.
I think Vegas just feels more chaotic in general. Like, because you're going through casinos to the conference, and there's people running around there, and ding 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 ding, ding, all these noises and lights. So it's like even before I get to the conference, I'm overstimulated.
Yep.
So
Literally,
it's a different vibe. Yeah.
literally.
So I definitely recommend it if you can pick any conference to go to, no matter where it is. And if it's your first Cisco Live, especially, EMEA is, I think, a better experience to get your feet wet into Cisco Live.
Also, one more point, and then I want you to pick a question. I do think that a big part of going to conferences like Cisco Live is the networking aspect and, like, meeting other people in your local area. So if you are in EMEA, maybe go to the EMEA one for your first time because you'll make more contacts that are local. If you're in the US,
That's
maybe go
true.
to US and then branch out. I think branching out is cool.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It, the cool thing of all the vendors were pretty much the same, which
Yeah.
was nice to see. There wasn't like a majority of just European vendors or something like that. So if you're going, you can still talk to your rep or whomever your company that you're working with is still going to be there. But definitely good point about the people attending are going to be more in the industry, where it's located.
Yep.
All right. So speaking of, I think we just mentioned this before about community and talking to people.
Mm.
Uh Tucky 88. Oh, that's a cute name. Tucky. Do you also struggle? I get to actually show how weird my personality is on these kind of
I know
podcasts.
you do.
People people don't understand how weird I am. I'm a weird guy. Um, Tucky 88. Do you also struggle with not being able to explain slash talk to friends slash fam about the work that you do? Alexis, go for it.
Ooh. Um, I don't know if anyone remembers, I did 2 videos with my family. Can you explain what I do for work? The second one was, can
Mhm.
you explain what is the cloud? Um, one time I don't know if I should say this on air. We can decide later
Why
and
not?
maybe cut it out.
We've already been
Okay.
censored. It's
Okay.
okay.
So I got a FaceTime from my sister, a little bit ago, and you guys know, I mean, I make all these videos about technology, and she called me, and she was like, "Alexis, I was watching this video, and it literally sounded like you were speaking another language, and me and my boyfriend were high." And so I handed him my phone and said, "Oh my god, listen to this." And then for the next 45 minutes, we scrolled through your page, high, watching your TikToks because it was so funny to us that we literally couldn't understand a single word you were saying.
That's amazing.
I don't know if this one's gonna make it on air. But I feel like I've just kind of accepted it, and also I have different levels of explanation depending on who I'm talking to. Like, you kinda ask a probing question, right? "Do you know what the cloud is? Do you know what network engineering is?" "Okay. Well, then I actually kind of explain. And if not, I'm like, "Well, I work in tech and IT, and then I make content too." And their response is usually, "Oh, so you're an influencer." And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm technically an influencer."
Do you feel like you lose them already when you start talking about the cloud? Like if they say no, they don't know what the cloud is, they don't know any of that stuff. And you start explaining it to them.
I mean,
Like
I
the
feel like
people I talk to, they're done. They're like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
gone. I feel like
Yeah.
most people know what AWS is. I'm like, "Do you know what the cloud is?" Like AWS, and if they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," like, then I'll go a little bit deeper. Usually, I
Mhm.
leave it at, I work for an Australian tech company in IT.
Gotcha.
I don't even say I do, I used to go in with my job title is technically global evangelist. I leave that part out now. I say I work in technical marketing.
Global evangelicist.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you don't know how to pronounce that word. Say it
Still
again.
can't say it. Evangelicist.
Yes.
Evangelist.
Kevin,
Even
how do you
okay.
explain your job?
Um, I say I make the internet go good.
I turn
I
off
do
and
good
turn on
internet
again.
things. Yeah.
I
I
turn
do
off
good
and turn
internet
on
things.
again.
Like my kids, my youngest one is 7, and what he knows is that like I do internet things. And like it's funny because he'll like if the internet's down or like there was that story about I forget what there was a big outage a few months back. And he's like, "Why didn't you fix that, Dad?" Like he doesn't understand that like how big the internet is and how I deal with my little
He
section
thinks
of
you
the
fixed
internet.
the whole internet.
Yeah, like that's all he knows. Like the
It's so
internet is this
cute.
ephemeral thing in the sky, and my dad fixes it.
It's so cute. It's so
But if I
cute.
was talking to an adult, it is really difficult because most people, I feel like if you care, then you would already kind of know the basics of technology. And the
Mhm.
people who don't know don't want to know. Yeah. So like my wife, right? Bless her heart. I love my wife with my entire heart, but the woman does not care about technology to save her life. And if I try to talk to her about my day, I know that it's not going to land. Like I have to lead with my coworker did this or my coworker said this. She wants the tea. She wants like the person drama. But if I
Mhm.
mention like, oh yeah, we had a
We had a tier 1
firewall died,
outage.
blah, blah. Yeah, like she doesn't care.
Had
She's
to
checked out.
replace a
She's
line
done.
card.
Exactly. Like doesn't care at all. So it is a struggle to relate to people and share your day with people who are non-technical. And
Yeah.
that's where the power of social media is. That's where the power of going to Cisco Live and the power of
Joining a
doing these local
community.
meetups. Yeah, is so that you can meet up and finally share that passion, get it all out. And it's weird. You can tell the people who don't have anyone to talk to because when they finally connect with someone, man, it just unloads. They're just like, bam, they just
We had the same
like word
reaction.
vomit. Yeah, it's like because I'm like, and I, I find it funny and I love it because I know that this person hasn't been able to
Express
share that with
themselves.
anyone else. Yeah, and so like it's a great opportunity, and I love it. But yes, it is very difficult, and it does not get better unless you surround yourself with people who care. Anyone who's worked in uptime knows outages aren't just technical events, they're human events. They're late nights, pressure calls, and leadership asking for answers now.
Statseeker was built to make those moments easier. It automatically discovers your environment and collects performance data across every device every 60 seconds.
So when something breaks, you're not scrambling. You've already got the visibility to diagnose it fast.
Teams use it to detect anomalies early, prove root cause, and prevent repeat failures. And because you can run it in your own environment, you stay in control of your data and infrastructure.
If uptime is your responsibility, it's worth seeing how this works firsthand. Go to statseeker.com/uptime stories to start your free trial.
Okay, I have one from Mate Buble or Mate Booble.
Booble.
What's your and
Booble.
I think this is gonna be fun because Kevin and I have to age Kevin in every episode. So
Every
Kevin,
episode.
Kevin's gonna have a little bit of
Every
a
episode.
take. What is your take on work-life balance when you're young?
Mm. Well, so I'm weird. I guess not weird, but my experience was that I had kids pretty young.
Mm.
My oldest is 15 and I'm 41. So math is hard, but I was in my early 20s when I had a
You
kid.
don't
Like
remember
by the
how
time I
old
was,
you are when you had your daughter?
no, time is, I know how old she is. That's the important part. I don't know but what's funny is like
Oh my
when I was
god.
Alexis's age, I was married, 2 kids, a house. Like we're a very different position. I'm
I
not trying to,
have I
don't
have
start crying.
No, I'm not. No, no, no.
Okay.
My eyes are watering.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
LASIK. It's LASIK.
Okay.
I have, for reference, I have basically the least amount of responsibilities I've had in my entire life.
Yeah. Right. You've gone backward, not backwards, but you've gone more free and I've gone more responsibilities.
Adult.
So it's hard because it's gonna depend on what your work, like what your life looks like. But for me, I was in a corporate job that I hated and didn't give me work-life balance. And my solution to that was to go to the public sector, was
Mm.
to find a job that allowed me to have the work-life balance that I wanted. And I feel like when you're young, you have to make the choice what's more important to you, your career or creating a family. And
Mm.
you have to make that personal choice for yourself because it stinks that you kind of have to pick one, but you do. You have to, especially when you're young, go all in on your career where you spend nights and weekends studying for certifications and volunteering for extra work and maintenances and all that kind of stuff. Or you say, no, my priority is having kids and spending my nights doing board games and feeding kids and changing diapers.
It
So,
it's kind of like, have you seen the meme? I remember this was really big when I was in college. I saw it all the time on Instagram, and it was like a circle, and it was split into 3 pieces, and it said, "You can only choose 2. 8 hours of sleep, get good grades, have friends."
yeah.
You can have friends and get good grades, but you're not sleeping. You can get sleep and good grades,
Hmm.
but you won't have friends. Or you can
Right.
have friends and get sleep and fail all your classes. Like, you can only choose 2. Which 2 are you
Hmm.
choosing? And it kinda reminds me of that.
Yeah. It's not sustainable to try to do both. You really, I mean, you can do both a little bit, like half but we bleep curse words, so half but both of them. Um,
I've been cursed left and right.
I
Half
know I feel
half
bad for our editors.
half
But you're gonna cut this whole section now, Alexis. Dang it. Um, Yeah, so, you can do both, but, like, I feel like you'll be spinning your wheels, and you'll have an unhappy marriage, and you won't be there for your kids, but you also won't be, like, making headway in your career. So I feel like the best thing to do is just to pick one, whichever one is more important to you, what more aligns to your core values, and at least for the first few years of your career, go, head deep into that.
Mm,
Would you agree, Alexis?
no. I mean, again, I'm also in a very different scenario than you were. I don't have kids. It's not on the horizon for me anytime soon, knock on wood. Um, that would be a difficult situation if I found out I was having kids right now. But I have never really believed in, like, work-life balance. What I lean more towards is work-life integration. Like, I think all pieces of your life, and maybe I'm very, very blessed that both my job and my side hobby of content creation kind of float together and allow me to live a lifestyle the way that I want, where I'm able to travel all the time and do things all the time and meet people in different countries and, like, do all this crazy stuff that you guys see on my Instagram. But I'm very much in a work hard, play hard season. And I remember this was, like, during COVID. I mean, I was working, a very normal, like, stay-at-home remote job for Cisco, right? I'd visit customers once or twice a week. Outside of that, I was locked up in my home office in DC, and I remember, like, staring out the window in Arlington, Virginia, and I was like, I live the same day every single day. Every single day feels like Groundhog Day. And I got in, like, a big fight with my ex about it because he was like, "Well, is it a good day? Is it a good day? You have a comfy bed and enough money in your bank account, and we ate dinner tonight, so, like, it's a good day, right?" And I was like, "I'm bored. I'm bored." And now I kind of just like flip my life upside down, and I've been traveling full time since April, and I've had all of these crazy experiences. And I mean, for example, I woke up today at 7 o'clock. I worked for 3 hours from 7 to 10. I immediately opened up my eyes, went downstairs, made breakfast, and sat on my computer while the rest of the house I'm in woke up. We all went skiing from 10 to 4:30. I came home, showered, did a little bit more work, checked my email and, stuff like that because I'm in Europe and the US just woke up. Did my check-ins with my boss. I'm on this podcast with Kevin right now. After this, I'm gonna go heat up some dinner, take care of editing, not editing, but like reviewing edits on some videos for Megaport. And I have a meeting at 12:30 in the morning today. Am I happy about taking a meeting at 12:30 in the morning? Not really. It's not my favorite thing to do. Normally, when I'm working US hours in Europe, I try to work from 3 to 10:30. It usually scope creeps until midnight because,
Mhm.
it work just kind of goes like that. I don't love like knowing I have a meeting that's locked in on the calendar at 12:30, but that's the price that I pay for having the flexibility that I do to be skiing in Switzerland right now. And that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make, right? And I I am trying to integrate my job into the things I wanna do. And I think that, if your job isn't maybe this is like a really selfish hot take, but, like, if your job isn't giving you the flexibility to live the life that you wanna live, you need a different job. I'm also working in a house with 20 other people that are working very normal jobs in tech or finance, um, that like, they're very normal jobs, and they're all doing the same thing that I do, just under the radar. Like, I do not exclusively have this privilege because of social media. I can name now 25 other people that are doing the same thing, and half of them don't even have Instagram accounts.
Mm.
So, disclaimer.
Man, I feel like the moral of your story is don't have kids.
I would like to have kids.
Like,
I would like to have kids, but like you said, it's a decision that you make. You can only pick
yeah, it's a
3.
priority.
You can only pick 3. Remember the circle? Sleep, good grades, have friends.
Yeah,
Job,
yeah. I just
flexibility, children, money. I don't know.
yeah. I
Maybe
just feel like
maybe maybe the circle goes towards you.
your integration strategy is kind of like it works as long as all you're dealing with is like work. Once you
Well,
start adding in family responsibilities and kids and all these other
I
pieces,
would
it
extend
gets much harder for all that stuff to work around a traveling.
I disagree with that. I mean, I think I am
You're
integrating the
wrong.
travel.
Okay.
I disagree with you again. I'm integrating the travel into my life right now, but that's not to say in 5 years when I wanna have children, I can't make a different decision and decide to integrate their lives into my work schedule to make my work flow around the time I wanna spend with my children instead. Like,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I know a girl, I used to work with, she was one of my neighbors, and she would take her lunch break for 2 hours in the middle of the day every day and schedule she had a stay-at-home nanny. Again, we work in tech, she had money to hire a stay-at-home nanny, but it's very privileged, right?
Mhm.
But the nanny would come, she would get her kids ready and do the whole morning routine and get some quality time with them in. The nanny would come, she would go and work, and then she would come back and do their lunchtime and playtime, and then they would go down for their nap with the nanny, and then she would go back to work and work another 4 hours, and then have the quality time after dinner to do homework and all the stuff when the nanny went home. And that was kinda like how she integrated her normal work schedule into her life.
Yeah. Man, I
And
just okay, I'm on a soapbox here, so we might
okay.
cut all this from the podcast. I don't want people to think that, like, we're dismissing the struggles they have in their life, because
Mm,
like, sometimes people are dealing with situations that are not conducive to a life where they can, like, do both, you know? Like, some people have to sacrifice and pick, and if you have sick parents that are living with you and you're, like, having to be a caretaker for your parents, and, like, you're also trying to hold down a job, and you're also trying to have friends or whatever, like, it's s s
you
everyone's
have you
situation is
have
a little
to pick.
different.
You have to
Yeah.
pick.
And yeah. So I just, there are situations where you can't necessarily live the life you want because of your situation. And, I think that's important to recognize that there are people out there struggling to do that. That's all I want to say.
I I
Okay.
can I can sympathize with that, and I don't think you should not take responsibility for decisions that you made. But and sometimes, like, you get dealt a hand, right? And
Yeah. I,
that's
it's hard. Like like the
I'm
story
an
you were saying,
optimist.
she works in tech engine.
I know, I'm also, like, an
I,
optimist of, like, I will find a way. Like, that's also just my personality is that no matter
yeah.
I don't care what the situation is, I am going to find a way to make it work. But that's also just, like, how I am to my core. I'm also a little psycho, so I
Okay.
don't next question.
Okay, so next question is from Straight Silver, and he's asking some straight questions here.
Oh god.
So his username is accurate. Alexis, there's been some drama online.
There's always drama online. I'm
There's
scared.
always drama, but about a year ago, I think it was a year ago, um, were you fired from Cisco?
It's really funny, Kevin, because immediately after I announced I was leaving Cisco, I think I had, like, 4 different people that messaged me immediately, and they were like, "Do you wanna come on my podcast and talk about it?" And I said, "No," to all of them. Here we are. Um, I was
Well, were
technically
you under like an NDA too or something?
not like an NDA, but it was just it it was a how do I say? Um, I was voluntarily resigned. That is the literal term that was used. So I was not fired.
So you quit.
I was voluntarily resigned. Um, the non-technical term is managed out, and I
Mm,
don't know if anyone else has ever experienced that. Um, yeah, the to go into the full story would be a lot of drama and probably some, like, he said, she said stuff, which is
mm,
why I've never gotten into it online. Um, there was things that I feel were very misleading around my move to Charlotte and my
mm,
permission to move to Charlotte. But long story short, I was voluntarily resigned for moving outside of my sales territory. And honestly, I mean, at the time I was so upset about it. I had been trying to move off of my team. I was working in commercial. So Cisco has different segments of their business. They've got commercial, they've got enterprise, they've got federal, they've got public sector. And I had been wanting to move out of commercial into a different segment of the business anyways. And so I was like, oh, no problem. I can get a job in another segment. As it turns out, Cisco was on a hiring freeze the entire time I was looking for a job. So I couldn't get a job in another segment. And it was what would you say, like, perfect storm of the hiring freeze, communication, misleading things, in my opinion, and also me wanting to move states. Ultimately, at the time, I was very upset about it. Like, I'm still a little bit upset about how everything went down, but I can look back now over a year later and say that it was probably one of the best things to happen to me, which I think at
mm.
the time I never would have imagined saying that, right? I would have been a lifer at Cisco. I would have been a lifer. I never would have quit. No matter what the situation was, I never would have left that company. And I would still be working there right now. And I probably would not have grown my platforms as much. I would still be constrained to only talking about Cisco technology. I don't feel like I would have gotten as much experience in the industry. Like, ultimately leaving Cisco was the best thing, or being managed out of Cisco or voluntarily resigned from Cisco, whatever you want to call it. It was one of the best things to ever happen to me. And I'm grateful it happened looking back. I think I've gotten a lot of opportunities and growth that came from that. But sometimes when things happen like that in the moment, it's really, really hard to see the silver lining. Really, really
Mhm.
hard. And so I just never really talked about it. I just kinda said, "I'm not there anymore," and left it at that. Also because, like, I don't know, I'm even with my the ending of my very long relationship I was in, I like to wait before I talk about things with the internet. Right? Sometimes I like to process them a
Yeah.
little bit, and I feel that you guys deserve to know what's going on in the moment when you're like, "Oh my god, why are there no pictures of cats?" And all of the sudden you're not in it looks like you're not living in Charlotte. Like, I feel a level of accountability to tell you guys what's going on, whether it's, like, with work or personal to keep everyone up to date, but sometimes the, like, behind the scenes or, like, the processing emotionally, I get a lot of questions about, like, "How are you? How are you doing? Are
Mhm.
you okay?" "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
"I'm fine, I'm fine." I just like to take a little bit to process things by myself before I decide whether or not I wanna share that experience with the internet.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually brings up 2 questions for you, 2 follow-up
Oh
questions.
god.
Number 1, would you go back to Cisco if the situation was different?
Um, it's funny, I have people I was literally at Cisco Live EMEA, and someone was like, "Would you just come back and work for Cisco? Like, if I hired you today, would you come back and work for Cisco?"
Mhm.
Um, After leaving and Cisco has a great culture. Like, I can't tell you how many I have so many close friends and, like, ex-colleagues that work there, and I really look up to the company. I think that after experiencing working at a smaller company, I really enjoy working for a smaller company.
Mhm.
One with, like, slightly less politics and slightly
Yeah.
less organization. I just personally think it's a lot more fun. Um I'd really love to work for myself one day. I think that's another big goal of mine, so going
Mhm.
back to work for Cisco is kind of completely contradictory to that, and also, I mean, Kevin and I were talking earlier about, um, representing the industry, right? And industry trends and vendor agnostic solutions, and going back to work to a vendor, like, isn't really conducive to that because
Mhm.
I it's not that I can't make content about things that are not Cisco if I'm working for Cisco, but it's kind of like anti my job, right? If I'm working for
Yeah.
Cisco, you gotta be pro Cisco. And I just kind of think it makes you a shitty engineer. Like personally, I studied aerospace, right? My whole experience in IT was working for Cisco. I didn't really get a lot of like cross vendor experience until I started working for Megaport. And Megaport has all sorts of partners with, Fortinet and Palo and, like, all these other guys that we can run on our platform, and so, like, I didn't really have experience outside of Cisco until I left, and I just think it makes you kind of engineer if, like, you only know one solution, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you're recommending the best thing you know, but it's also the only thing you know, and if
Right.
you only have a hammer, everything's a nail when it could be a screw. I think that's the analogy I'm looking for, right? You wanna
Don't
use the
ask
right
me.
tool.
Analogy me and analogies are not good.
You wanna use the right tool for the job, but if you don't know all the tools, how can you pick the right one?
Right. And
Um,
that's where us as creators, who we try to educate and help people online, if we are representing a vendor that is, we have to stick to the script or the solutions, then the people can't really trust us to give them an
right,
unbiased, point of view, or everything we say is in the lens of that vendor that we represent.
right.
So
So, yeah,
it
I
makes sense.
I think it would be really hard to go back to Cisco now because I think it's almost, like, a little bit anti my personal goals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so my second follow-up question here is, you mentioned having some processing your personal and feeling obligated to tell your audience about your personal stuff.
Mhm.
Do you feel that, like, it's an actual obligation that, like, like, they deserve the audience, the
Yeah.
followers deserve to know information about your personal life?
People yearn for
And
the
if
truth,
if
Kevin.
but if so, like, I feel like, you
They
know,
yearn for the drama. My
I don't
life is
like,
chaotic and people want the
it's
details.
but it's interesting because, okay, I'm not saying we're movie stars. Okay, please don't. I'm just that's the
Oh
easiest analogy
God.
for me.
Oh my
Is
God.
like Brad Pitt, right? And I look just like him, so this is a good analogy. Brad Pitt it is in a movie, right? His job is to act in that movie. And then he's only famous because people like him for his work. And then
Yeah.
they kind of feel like they have an obligation or like an an access to him if they see him out in person. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
take a picture with me, give me audio or get autograph, because he's a public figure. And
Mm.
I'm torn on that personally of like, do do people deserve access to my personal
Are you
life
owed?
at all?
Are they owed an
Yeah.
explanation?
Yeah, like I'm providing them a service. I make videos that educate and help them, and I do AMAs and I do all this stuff, and they exchange that by giving me likes and follows and that kind of stuff. But nowhere in there is there an exchange of personal information. They aren't deserving of my personal life. I choose to give them certain access to it
Yeah, bits
because,
and pieces
you
when
know,
you choose to.
yeah, but, like, how do you determine what the boundary is there of what your personal life, what you're
I
choosing to
mean,
share? Like, you went
I
through a very public breakup with your boyfriend,
I wouldn't say it
and
was very
you
public. I made, like, a couple videos about it.
but videos of you crying, videos of you being emotional, um, like,
Being
things that
real,
I
I'm
would
being
personally never
authentic.
post. I know, but
I think it
I
and
wouldn't do that, like
I think it depends. I think it depends on every creator and, like, also what kind of, like, how well you want your followers to know you. Like, something, I think it's I really enjoy when people feel like they know me. Like,
Mhm.
I wear my heart on my sleeve. If you guys have met me in real life, I'll tell anyone anything. Anyone anything, all the time. Like, there are very little boundaries. If you meet me in real life and we are complete strangers, you will know everything about my life within, like, 35 minutes.
Alexis,
Everything that's going on.
that's called trauma dumping, and that's not
What
healthy.
is it though? Is
You
it
need boundaries, Alexis.
I but but I mean, maybe I just need to do a better job. But I really enjoy, like, feeling like I know people on a deep level and feeling like people know me on a deep level, and I feel like you
Mm,
only really get there by being open and vulnerable and sharing things. Like, you only have close friends at the level like, your friends are only as close as you let them be. And that's I mean, I know we're
yeah.
talking about, like, we were talking about followers, but even with, like, friendships in your personal life, your relationships that you have with your friends and family are only as deep as you let them get by sharing vulnerable things. And I'm not saying that, like, everyone deserves to know that. Like, I don't share, like, everything I share with my friends and family on the internet, but there
Mhm.
are levels that I will share because I think it's something that's important to me to, like, be a little vulnerable and to feel known and when I share those things, usually what I get in my DMs and my comments is that other people are easily able to relate to that experience. Like a video
Okay.
I'd really like to make that I've kind of dragged my feet on is when, and this was like 3, 4 months ago. I mean, if we're like putting a timeline on this, we're what, 9, 10 months out from me moving out of Charlotte and like turning my life upside down. But, like, back around the 3, 4 month mark, like, when I was making some of those videos about, like, "Hey, I've moved out of Charlotte. I'm going through a breakup. This is a big life transition." I remember my dad, I was at home with my parents, and my dad walked in, and he was like, "Why do you share stuff like that on the internet? It's so unprofessional. What if what if some executive is gonna see that, and they're gonna think differently about you because you just posted a video of you
Mhm.
crying?" And true. True, that's a risk I'm taking, but at the same time, there's so many people that can have things going on in their personal life and also show up completely professionally at work. Like you were talking about,
Mhm.
having
Yeah.
a sick or dying parent that you're caring for, like, something at home blows up in your face. A lot of people assume that if your personal life is blowing up, you're not able to show up effectively and do your job. And maybe that's true in some cases. It's not true in all cases. I really want to make a video about that, right? Like my life completely fell apart and I
Mhm.
am still able to effectively perform. The fun story, and I know we're almost running out of time here. when Kevin and I when I launched the idea of this podcast, if you guys are still with us, we're like an hour and 15 minutes into this. When I launched the idea of having this podcast, literally I had messaged Ethan, who owns Packet Pushers, on LinkedIn, and I was like, hey, I have this really crazy idea. Can we schedule a meeting? We scheduled this meeting 3 weeks out. Okay. The night before I pitched Ethan this podcast was when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend. And so I showed up to this meeting with Ethan literally with no sleep. I had no sleep. I had no makeup on. For all intents and purposes, I looked like a complete disaster. And so I get on the phone with Ethan and the Packet Pushers gang, and I'm explaining the concept for this podcast and why I want to do the show and why I'm so excited about it and what difference I think it's going to make. And my voice is raspy. Because I was crying all night. Like I looked like hell, and I'm like very intently explaining what I want to do. And Ethan is like, Alexis, I gotta say, I'd love to support you in this. I think it's a great idea. Are you sure you're able to take on more work? Like you kind of look like you're having a hell of a time. I'm not gonna lie. And I said, Ethan, listen, I'm very passionate about doing this. I just ended a 7-year-long relationship last night. This meeting is very important to me. I was not going to reschedule it for 3 weeks from now. I want it to happen now. And I know I look crazy right now. I will have my together by the time we launch this, because it is something that I want to do. Right. And again, you can have things blow up in your life and still show up at work. And I'm equally passionate about that. I should probably make the TikTok while I'm like heated, because you got me going. But anyways,
for anyone who's wondering what our like for anyone who is wondering what our like FaceTime conversations sound like, that was basically it, where we ask each other questions, and then eventually Alexis will just start talking at me about something, and she just will go off, and I just sit here and go, and then I'll start multitasking something and go back, oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
Okay,
So
anyways,
that's the behind the scenes conversations.
We are like so off topic now. Let's do.
All right, so we're
one more question, and then we'll wrap. And I think this one's a good one based on the conversation we just had.
Hit me.
In an alternate universe, what career would you have?
Weirdly enough, I've gotten this question a lot in my Friday AMAs on Instagram.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, like people are really interested in this. And so for a little while, I was in tech, and I was going through a life transition. I was going like divorced, and I was depressed, and my life was falling apart basically. And instead of going to the Alps and going skiing and living the best life possible, my grand plan at the time. No, just saying we all deal with things differently, but very honestly, very similar. I looked at becoming a park ranger. I want to become a park ranger and just work in a park. You live in the park, and like you just fix fences and hiking trails and deal with people and like ski off on my own in the woods.
I never knew this.
Yeah. So I still I signed up for job alerts of park ranger jobs in my area, from like the national parks in my area, and I still get emails saying like, oh, a job popped up that fits your description or whatever. And I don't unsubscribe, because it's still like a little part of me who's like,
well, I feel like that's part of working in IT.
I'll just go into a park.
I feel like that's part of working in IT. Like there's a part of your brain where you always just kind of want to go off in the woods and just disappear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get away from technology, get away from all the things, and just be out alone and touch grass, basically, like all day.
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm out here?
I know, but I don't know. You're doing it successfully. I was like, you do it beautifully. You're doing it like successfully, and you're like, you're like a boss bee. I won't curse because I want to give our editors a break.
You were gonna be park ranger in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, and like there's no great parks around us, to be honest. Like it's swamp and flatland.
The Everglades,
but that's scary. I don't want to do that. That's like crocodile or alligator. We don't crocodiles here. Alligators and snakes. I don't want to do that stuff. I want to go to like a paved area. Then like,
What hiking trail are you going to maintain if it's paved, Kevin?
I can sweep it and blow it off with a leaf blower. I don't know. I'm not outdoorsy. I like camping every once in a while, but I'm not like a burly outdoorsy guy. You know, like I
And you
can't do
were
that
going to
kind
go
of
be a
stuff.
park ranger.
At like Brandon Park, like it's nothing crazy. The pay was terrible, absolute garbage. I would have to live with roommates and have my kids share a cot in the living room or something.
Oh my
So
God.
it wasn't every fleshed out. I'm saying like you had this beautiful idea of skiing, traveling the world, going to Europe. All that. My idea was
It
to live in
wasn't.
a crappy 1-bedroom apartment and live in a like
I mean,
different levels is what I was
my
saying.
original idea was to live in a van and van camp. And everyone was like, "What are you
Down
gonna do?
by
Live
the
in a van
river.
by the river?" I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly what I'm gonna do." Actually, there's a girl in the co-living that's living in a van from Norway, and her van is beautiful.
No, I bet. These people they do it right. All right,
Um,
so we have to stay on track, or else we'll get down a rabbit hole again.
alternate career.
What would your career be?
Um, well, growing up, I said I always wanted to be a dolphin trainer. That was my childhood.
What?
My
I
When
was
I
not expecting. I don't know what I expected, just not that. I don't like like a pilot or something. 'Cause you were I
let
did
me
not
cook, let
expect
me
a
cook.
dolphin trainer. Okay, all right, dolphin trainer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh
All right.
my
Why a
God.
dolphin trainer, Alexis?
Let me finish the story. When
I'm
I
trying. I'm trying to tee you up again.
when I was a
Reset.
little kid, I always said I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. And then I decided
Mhm.
I wanted to be a pilot because my family never traveled growing up. And I thought if I was a pilot, I'd get to travel. And then I realized how much
Aw.
student debt you had to go into to become a pilot. And I was like, I'm not willing to
Mm.
take out that much student debt, which like jokes on me because I ended up in a ton of debt anyways. And my eyes are too bad to join the military, so I can't be a military pilot and get it for free.
Mm.
And that's how I ended up being an aerospace engineer. Now,
Gotcha.
that being said, alternate career. There was a point in time where I considered going back into aerospace. When I was working in IT for like 3 years, I was like struggling really, really bad with my boss. I considered going back into aerospace. Now, considering everything and the journey I've been on, if I was to pick an alternate career, I think journalism would be really cool.
Oh, okay.
And I almost want to like dabble in that a little bit, moving forward. If you guys have seen any of like the conference wrap ups I've done, I think like doing like tech journalism would be really cool and
So like
writing.
broadcast journalism, like video?
Yeah, just like
Okay.
broadcast journalism or like sort of like writing little blogs and wrap ups and doing like some more formal stuff on camera, like newscasting. Like I think that could be kind of cool.
Tech bites with digital bite.
I hate you. Thanks for making fun of my dream. I didn't make
That's
fun of
what we
yours.
do.
Actually, I
Could
guess I
have
did a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah.
Not as much as
Yeah,
dolphin
that's
trainer.
that's a relationship. You know, I consider you like a little sister or something. Where like it's my job to make fun of you and to tease you a little bit,
Yeah.
to put you
One
down
of
a peg.
these,
Otherwise, your
maybe
head would be way up here.
maybe the next time we do a Q&A, it'll be life advice with Kevin, where Kevin just gives me his life advice about the decisions I'm currently making. And I'm
They're all
sure
bad.
that people listening, I hope that you guys listening to this would get a kick out of it because either you're in Kevin's situation or you're in my situation.
No, I think your situation's good. Like your love life and your dating situation is
We're not
terrible.
talking about that here.
We could have a whole episode on that.
We're not talking about that here. Anyways, well, thanks to coming. Thanks for
You're coming?
coming to
Thanks to
another
coming.
episode. Thanks for listening to another episode of Life in Uptime. Um, we're your hosts, Kevin and Alexis.
We're mostly your hosts. Oh,
And if you guys have any other questions you'd like us to answer that we didn't get to, DM us on Instagram. This was fun. I'm sure we'll do another one. And I forget word for word what the closer is, but something, keep your uptime high.